So how the heck do I transpose any song to any key? You should have the answer before the end of this video. It doesn't require of you to be brilliant, to be a great musician. You don't need perfect hearing. You don't need to be a wonder kid. It does, however, require of you that you pay the hours needed to learn this. If you hear when you play wrong, if you hear when you sing out of key, you are musically talented enough to learn this stuff. Where so many great musicians out there got the idea that don't bother to learn this because it's too hard or it's too complicated, I don't know where to get it. It's no way near as complicated as it was to learn how to read and write, and everybody learned that. So pay the hours needed to learn this. It's worth it. So what does transposing one song to another key actually mean? Basically it means that you need to have a reference point, so you need to know how to play it in at least one key. And then you want to find out what chords to play it in. If we would transpose it from the key C to the key D, what chords would I actually play it in? Something like this. If all the songs were to be played in bar chords, you would probably understand how transposing works so much easier, because in bar chords all the songs looks exactly the same. You just slide them higher and lower on the neck of the guitar. Like this. This is played in A. And if I were to play that song in G, I just slide it down from A flat to G. And we can do it in F, from G to F. You get the point. Of course, eventually you would run out of chords because the neck on the guitar is not infinite, but you get the point. So this model I'm gonna lay out for you now, it's a very simplified transposing table, but it works brilliantly. It's where you name all the chords in each key numbers, and it's based on the fact that there are 7 keys to play in: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and each of them consists of 7 chords in alphabetical order. We need to have a reference point, and we will use the key C because it is the easiest key to play in. It doesn't have any bar chords included, and it doesn't come with any semi-notes like F sharp or anything. It's just plain A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So if I were to name all the chords in the key C to numbers in alphabetical orders from 1 to 7, it would become like this: C, number 1, D minor, number 2, E minor, number 3, F, number 4, G, number 5, A minor, number 6, and then we have the B dim will become number 7. But forget about the dims. You're not going to use the dim chords that frequently, but they are an important part of this little table here because it completes the scale A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and that creates a little table, 7 keys and 7 chords in each. I'm gonna draw this little table for you so you get a clearer picture of it. So let's walk through this. This line here, number 1, represents the key we are playing in, and all this will be the chords included in that key. The reason I draw B and C close to each other and E and F close to each other is because there's no semi-note in between them. Between A and B, there's an A sharp. Have you ever thought about why there aren't as many black keys as white keys on a piano? Black keys represent semi-note, white keys full notes. So look at the scale. Start with A, A sharp, B, and no semi-note between B and C. C sharp, D, D sharp, E, no semi-note between E and F, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and back on A. High A, low A, even higher A. This is pretty basic stuff, but still, I'm sure a lot of people never ask themselves why aren't there as many black keys as white keys on the piano? And of course the scale on a guitar works exactly the same, but it's not as easy to see it on a guitar as it is on a piano here. Okay, back to work. So let's start with what we know here. We know all the chords in the key C in alphabetical order. It's C, D minor, and we have E minor, and we have an F, a G, and A minor. And then we also have the B dim. So now we know that number 1 is the chord that represents the key. And we also know that number 2 is a minor chord. And we know that number 3 is also a minor chord. We know that number 4 is a major chord, and so is number 5. And we know that number 6 is a minor chord, and we know that number 7 is a dim chord. So what happens if we transpose this C to a D? C will already become a D. We know that the D minor has to become the E minor. So what we are doing now is that we are sliding the whole scale one step higher on the guitar. D minor becomes an E minor, but between E and F there is no semi-note, but we're sliding the whole model one full note up. So this has to become a F sharp minor. The F will become a G, the G will become an A, the A minor will become a B minor. And the B dim, between B and C there is nothing, no semi-notes, so the C dim has to be a C sharp dim. Make sense? Let's show you on the guitar. So if I use bar chords, you can see that we're sliding the whole scale one step higher on the guitar. The number 1 in the C scale is a C. We're sliding it one step up, it becomes a D. The number 2 in the C scale was a D minor. Just slide it one step up, it becomes an E minor. The number 3 in the C scale was an E minor. Just slide it one full step up, it becomes an F sharp minor. The number 4 in the C scale was a F major. Just slide it one step up, it becomes a G. The number 5 in the C scale was a G. You slide it one step up, it becomes an A. The number 6 in the C scale was an A minor. Just slide it one full note up, it becomes a B minor. The B dim, just slide it one step up, it becomes a C sharp dim. And everything will always be in alphabetical order, like you see B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And then you'll see B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And to transpose this E minor into the E scale, what will become? E minor. Here, if we play in D sharp, it would be F minor, so this has to be F sharp minor. F sharp minor, G minor, G sharp minor. The G becomes an A, and the A becomes a B. And the B minor becomes a C sharp minor. The C sharp dim becomes a D sharp dim. So if I say to you, we're gonna play a song here and it goes in 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, 6, 4, 5. It doesn't matter which key we're playing in it. If I say we're gonna play it in C, it's gonna be 1, 6, 4, 5. C, A minor, F, G. If we play it in E, 1, 6, 4, 5, it's gonna be E, C sharp minor, A, B. So if we want to play the song 1, 6, 4, 5 in the key C, look at the table and see what chords we're playing in. Number 1 is C, 6 is an A minor, 4 is the F, and 5 is a G. So 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, 6, 4, 5. And if we transpose it to D, look at the table to see what chords we're playing in. Then 1 is a D, 6 is a B minor, 4 is a G, and 5 is an F. So 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, 6, 4, 5. And transpose it to an E. 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, 6, 4, 5. You get the point. So let me complete this table for you, and if you feel like it's useful, you can screenshot it. This is it. Go ahead and screenshot it if you like. You often hear people say, yeah, this song goes in A minor. And A minor was not included in those 7 keys that I referred to. And for a good reason. A minor and C are parallel chords. And a parallel chord, I don't know if that's actually a thing, but I always refer to them as parallel chord. And C and A minor are parallel chord because they are based on the same ground note. C is obviously based on a C, and so is A minor. So when you play here it is, without the chords in the background. On the first 4 tones. There you have changed the chord in the background. Still the same C as the ground note. Okay, makes sense? And the same goes for F and D minor. They are built on the F. And the G and the E minor are built on the G note. Okay? When you play in G, you play in E minor. When you play in C, you play in A minor. You can say this song goes in A minor if you want to, but practically speaking, C and A minor, same scale. So that's the most simplified way that I can think of how to understand how to actually transpose from one key to another. But there are a few things that you may encounter that will make this harder. And that is in a music sheet, on one of your favorite songs, it's not uncommon that you see different chords that are not included in the scale. And in the C scale, one of the most common chords you see is an E major. And it's sometimes a D major. So here's a good example of a song that I'm gonna play in C right now. It's really high to sing in C, but I'm gonna do it anyway to display, where I include the E major and the D major in the C scale, and it sounds naturally really good. This is Painted Black by the Rolling Stones. I see a red door and I want it painted black. No colors anymore, I want them to turn black. Maybe then I'll fade away and not touch face to face. It's not easy facing up when your whole world is black. You get the point. It sounds really awesome, even though E and D major are not included in the scale. Borrowed in temporarily to make it brilliant. We temporarily borrow chords from another key to give the song more aliveness, so to say. And it doesn't work with all the chords. It just works with a few of them. And here's why. I'm going to tell you in a very detailed, simplified way. Why? So let me draw out for you one more little useful table, a little chord table, which is understandable. This is the way I learned how to think as a kid. I made this little system up in my head just out of curiosity, because I was so fascinated by music, how it worked. So I built this little system, and I think it still works really good. So here's a good way of remembering what chords are included in each key, plus the few extra commonly used chords in each scale. So let's start with the C scale, and we know that C and F and G are the three major chords in the C scale. And all those three chords has their own parallel chord also included. And in the case of C, it's A minor. In the case of F, it's D minor. In the case of G, it's E minor. And how do I find the parallel chord of each chord? And to find out which is the minor parallel chord to each major chord in the scale, let's say C, you always count backwards on the scale 3 seminotes lower than the actual chord. So C has C, 1, 2, 3. So A minor. So in the case of G, G, 1, 2, 3, and then make it a minor. So the parallel chord of G is E minor. We can try this everywhere on the scale. Here's an E. 1, 2, 3. So it's a C sharp minor. Let's make it an F. 1, 2, 3. The parallel chord of F is D minor. Simple as that. So these are the 6 chords in the scale. I'm not going to talk about the dim chords because, let's face it, we never use them. So let's name these ones 1, 2, and 3. One chord that is commonly used in the scale is a 7 on the third chord. So in this case, G7. And there are 2 more chords that are really commonly used. And that is a E major and a D major. And sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes even a major. So it's not that complicated. You just need to know C, F, G. And I can even show you how to find the number 2 and number 3. Let's say we start with C, how to find the number 2 and 3 in each scale. So if you want to find out what the number 2 and 3 chords are in each scale, so let's say we play in the E scale. E is number 1, obviously. Number 2 and 3. To find out number 2, you count 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 higher than the actual chord. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. A is number 2. And to find the third chord, you just add 2 extra. 1, 2. So it's 1, 2, 3. And another way to take that is you can take the E like this. Because then you can find out C as well. F. So either you take it like this, one step down, take the bar chord like this, so 1, 2, 3, or you count 1, 5, 7, 1, 5, 7 on the 1st fret, on the 5th fret, on the 7th fret. You get the point. Just play with it. Play with all the songs you can find. How do I play it in this key? How do I play it in this key? It's all mathematical, logically calculated. You can do this. And there is also one extra chord that is not commonly, I would say, but it's not that rare that it's used. And it's really beautiful when you add this extra little chord. And that is 1 full note lower than the number 1. In this case, it would be A sharp or a B flat. Call it whatever you want. So these are the chords that are used. Very, very, very rarely do you use other chords. And when you do, you actually change the key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10 chords. The 7, don't worry about that. It's the same chord basically. You just give it another shade. So let's say we want to know what chords are included in G. Look at the guitar. How did we find number 2 and 3? That's right. G, C, and D. What is the parallel chord of G? We already know that. It's E minor. What is the parallel chord of C? We already know that. It's A minor. What is the parallel chord of D? We can find out. It's gotta be one full note higher than the parallel chord of C. A minor has to become a B minor. Really easy. And these 3 are the same as these ones, but major chords. And sometimes we have D7. One chord that is commonly used here as well as the number 2 is F my 7, where you basically just remove the first finger from the first string, and then you have an F my 7. And the same here, C my 7. So this little 0 chord here that is very rarely used, which is an A sharp in the C scale, it's got to be one full note lower than the G. So here it will become an F. So a good example of what a drop chord, I just made a name up right now, but a drop chord is the one I refer to in the table as one key, one full note lower than the main chord. So if I would play an A, the drop chord would be G, just like this. So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke you broke, your love lost you away. It's like you always back in second gear when it hasn't been your day. You get the point. You see, the second chord was a G. So no one told you life was gonna be this way. It gets some cool effect on the song. Or another one, perfect example, the Beatles or John Lennon with Yellow Sky. So he plays it in G, I think, and then the drop chord would be F. One full note lower than the G. I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm sorry if I made you cry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm just a jealous guy. Pretty cool, right? Use it often. So in D is 1, 2, 3. How did we find them? That's right, G and A. The parallel chord of D, we already know that, it's a B minor. G, we already know, it's an E minor. And A, it's gotta be one full note higher than the E minor. And that is an F sharp minor. And this one's gotta be an F sharp and an E and the B. And this one step full note lower than the D, which is a C. A7 is commonly used, and so on. You get the point. So I hope you found this video to be at least a little bit helpful. I had a lot of fun making it nonetheless. If you have any questions about this, let me know in the comments below, or if you have any questions in general, requests about any other videos that could be helpful for you, let me know. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day.